Throughout history, no sword has ever been perfect. Not the katana, not the longsword, not even the rapier. Every blade was forged to solve a specific problem on the battlefield, and every solution created a new weakness. Today, we're not glorifying steel, we're exposing its limits. By the end of this video, you'll understand something pop culture rarely admits. No sword has ever dominated every war. Let's begin. The short sword is light, fast, and easy to carry. In tight corridors or dense formations, it can be lethal. But in open combat, it's outranged against spears, longswords, or you're forced to rush forward just to reach your opponent, and in that split second before you close the gap, you can die. Its shorter blade generates less momentum, which weakens its cutting authority against padded armor or thick clothing. That forces you into thrusting attacks, and once your enemy recognizes that pattern, your options shrink, and your offense becomes predictable. The arming sword, the classic knightly sidearm, is balanced and reliable, and that balance is also its flaw. It's a generalist. It cuts reasonably well and thrusts reasonably well, but it doesn't dominate either role. Against heavy armor, it lacks the leverage and mass of a longsword. Against lightly armored opponents, it doesn't strike with the brutality of broader blades. Its greatest strength was pairing with a shield, but when shields declined and two-handed weapons rose in popularity, that advantage faded. Without a shield, the arming sword can feel average, and on a battlefield, average can get you killed. The longsword appears to be the perfect solution: reach, leverage, and two-handed power. But it demands space. In alleys, stairwells, or tight formations, wide, powerful cuts become liabilities. You either choke up on the grip and lose leverage, or risk striking walls, shields, or even your own allies. It also demands serious training. Historical manuals show complex techniques: half-swording, grappling, winding, and precise thrusts into armor gaps. In skilled hands, it's devastating. In untrained hands, it's just an awkward bar of steel. Against full plate armor, cuts lose much of their value, and the fight often turns into wrestling. The sword becomes a leva rather than a blade. The greatsword is huge, intimidating, and visually dominant. But every swing is a commitment. Miss once, and you've sacrificed time, energy, and position. Against faster opponents, it can feel slightly behind. In tight formations like shield walls, it becomes a handicap. Once an enemy slips past its reach, the advantage collapses instantly. It's not impossibly heavy, but fatigue builds quickly and exhaustion in combat can be fatal. The broadsword delivers brutal cutting power with its wide blade, but that width creates drag. More steel means more momentum to control, and if you overcommit, recovery slows. Against fast-thrusting weapons like rapiers, that delay can be deadly. Against plate armor, powerful swings may simply glance off hardened steel. Even the protective basket hilt has drawbacks in grappling or confined spaces. It can snag or restrict grip transitions. Protection always comes at a cost. Scimitar-type blades such as the Shamshie, Kilij, and Talwar are beautiful. Curved weapons designed for devastating cuts from horseback. But curves favor flesh, not heavy plate. Against thick armor, draw-cutting effectiveness drops significantly, and straight-thrusting weapons often perform better against steel. The curve also makes precise thrust alignment less intuitive during chaotic close combat. These blades excel in flowing cavalry warfare, yet in static shield walls or tight infantry formations, that specialization becomes a limitation. The katana is legendary and often mythologized, but it is heavily optimized for specific conditions. It performs best against lightly armored opponents. Against full European plate, it faces disadvantages. Hard edge-on-edge parries can risk damaging the blade, which is why traditional techniques emphasize deflection rather than direct blocking. It demands discipline, precision, and constant maintenance. A poorly crafted or neglected katana can fail dramatically. It is not a forgiving weapon. It rewards mastery and punishes mistakes. The rapier dominates in reach and precision thrusting, but that specialization comes at a cost. Its cutting power is limited, and against thick clothing, padded armor, or multiple opponents, relying mainly on thrusts, reduces tactical flexibility. The long, slender blade is also more vulnerable to bending or breaking under heavy misaligned force. In crowded streets, staircases, or chaotic environments, its length becomes a liability. It is a masterpiece for dueling, but a gamble on the battlefield. The small sword is lightning fast and elegant, yet extremely specialized. Designed for formal civilian duels rather than battlefield chaos, it struggles against armor. Even light military gear reduces the effectiveness of its thrusts. Against multiple opponents, cavalry, or polearms, its advantages quickly disappear. It assumes structure and rules, but war rarely provides either. The executioner's sword represents perhaps the most extreme limitation of all. With a blunt tip and weight distribution designed for a single, controlled overhead strike, it lacks thrusting capability and versatility. It was never meant for survival in dynamic combat. Outside its intended role, it is simply the wrong tool. The truth is simple. Every sword is a compromise. For every strength forged into steel, a weakness is hammered in beside it. A blade that dominates in one context can fail completely, in another there has never been a perfect sword. Only the right weapon, for the right moment, in the right hands. If you want more historical reality without the Hollywood filter, subscribe. And before you go, ask yourself, which weakness surprised you the most? And if your life depended on it, which sword would you refuse to carry? Because in real combat, choosing wrong isn't a debate, it's a consequence.